We're old. We can talk about these things.
Right?
We're allowed.
This
We know what
isn't
we're
one
talking about,
person. Is that us?
right?
Hey, why are
Logan.
Grandma? Hey. And no, you just missed the
Hey, no.
discussion about where the G spot is and how to make that work. Ms. May.
How to make it work.
I realized that it's one more thing I'm not going to experience in my life before I die.
Damn.
That's so
Yeah.
sad.
Well, I mean, you could always go on a, self-discovery kind of thing. And
Same. Not the same. Yeah, I know. You don't
It's
care about
not
that.
the same. It really is not the same. It's good, but it's not the same.
I couldn't, yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Things
Okay.
I will not know before I die. Oh, well. That's my life. That's just my life summed up right there. Right there.
Things I will not know.
Exactly.
Well,
And then I don't know if anybody saw it. I put a picture up there. One of my girls sent me a bunch of stuff for Mother's Day. It was really fun. One of them was like a single person casserole dish. I'm like, how pathetic does my life seem to them that they
I
would
mean,
send
how?
me a one person casserole dish?
That's
I
pretty
mean,
sad.
I know. I'm like, oh, a good
Hi,
toy.
Jill.
Yeah, you need to keep gathering them and find out. Hi,
Hi,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Right. I mean, I'm a scientist. How would it be if I didn't know these things?
Jason.
I need to
You also
know.
missed the
Jason?
G-spot. The G-spot this conversation.
Yeah,
I'm one of
Jason, we
those
were having a
troubled
G-spot
youths that-
conversation. You should have been here for it. See what happens
All
when
I
you come in
know is
late.
all I know is this one more thing I'm not going to experience before I die. That's all I know.
Damn.
Clearly, I have not experienced it,
Phyllis.
or I would know. Apparently, Phyllis.
Right. You
no.
you never had a man that was investigative of an yeah.
Well, he could have cut his nails first. That would have helped.
Yeah.
Oh, like I said,
Hello.
it
See,
needs.
Jeff?
It's better when it's not the nails.
Uh-huh. Well, I can imagine. Holy shit. Oh.
It's better
Wow.
what?
I mean, it's better when you don't. It's better when it's not the hand, but the
Yeah.
the real deal,
The unit,
the unit.
the package.
The member.
Yeah, the member,
I hate all the words. Why does it not say I'm
the boy part.
Huh?
Hi, Judy. Yeah, when it's the boy part, Yep, yep.
Yeah. Oh well.
My sons and his friends used to call it their junk. Like,
Ooh, Beatles. Yeah,
my junk.
they're junk.
Okay.
They're packaged. They're yeah. Hi, Judy.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh,
It
Jason,
just-
the Beatles was pretty good, but it had nothing on what we were talking about.
Right?
well, what did they ask me? They didn't ask. Well, did you ask me something, you guys? I'm just
I don't
realizing
know. I
the
missed
things
it.
I've missed out on in my life.
I don't know. Right.
Junk and that's
Right.
the booty.
Right.
Isn't it? That's the booty.
Yes, there
Oh,
there
my
are toys
goodness.
that will find the G spot. Yes. Yes. I suppose.
Probably.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, there
It's
are.
there.
Fun. It's gonna be fun when I die and my kids are going through my stuff and they find all these things that I may buy,
Right.
something that I've already bought.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I need a little
I thought about that once, and I
Just put it all in a box that says "not for grandchildren's eyes."
actually you're supposed to put it in a black bag or in a plain cardboard box with a little note on top that says, "Do not open, just throw away."
Right. Just
they'll
throw it
open
away.
it though.
Right.
Don't. Well, that's why you make it in little small signs, because if it's a big sign, they will. Hi, Laura.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know you're
Karen.
curious and you want to look. Don't. This means
Yeah. I'm just telling you. Yeah. Just telling you now. Yeah.
you.
If you ever want to sleep again,
Yeah.
Right.
throw this away without opening.
I felt so bad for this one guy on the
Laura.
the Facebook dating thing. I feel bad for him because first he's like telling me that Neuro pointed out. He said your smile is radiate. I mean, yes, we know he
Radiate?
meant yeah, we know he meant radiant.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just soon after I said hello back and stuff, I'm being a nice person as I do try to be, and then he tells me, I'm battling cancer. My previous surgery came undone, so now I have a hernia. And then I said, "Oh, that sounds like a lot." And he said, "Yeah, he just needs some love, hun."
Oh. Oh.
It's just-
All you need is love. Da, 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 da.
Right?
All you need is love, love. Oh.
I mean that I'm actually speechless. I
I'm,
Oh my
huh.
God.
I mean, it's,
There are so many directions
it's
that
just,
could go.
I just,
She loves you, yeah. Oh.
needs some love, hun. And
Well,
it was
my husband used
H-U-N.
to tell me whenever I
She
didn't
loves you,
feel
hon.
good that
So,
sex makes everything better. So,
don't call his mother. Yeah.
What is going
Call
on in
your
the world
mom.
right
Give
now?
me the
but now
phone. Give me
when I
the
tell
number.
him, honey, all you
Right?
need, and you remember sex makes everything better, he's like, no, it doesn't.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Like you told
Yeah.
me that for years.
I wish that was
Throw
true.
out a hip having sex.
Say
Yeah,
what? What'd
that's
you say?
true.
You can throw out a hip having sex. Like, I don't know. It's not safe.
Oh, when I was still in California, when got on a dating app, when
I'm not even going to touch that.
I said that I had fibromyalgia, and he said, "Oh, does that keep you from being able to be intimate?" We haven't met yet,
Right? Like,
so
what the
that
fuck?
is not on the table. You know?
Right?
Yeah.
What,
Maybe you
what way
should
does
ask
my
my name first.
fibromyalgia lead you to the point of like intimacy? Where is fibromyalgia and intimacy
I
connected
know, right? Let
for
me
you?
look at the
Like, how is
scale.
how did your brain go from
What you
to?
do is you say, I'm in constant pain, and the only way that the pain goes away is if I am in the middle of almost having an orgasm. So it means like sex 24/7. Are you up for this?
A lot of guys would go for that, though.
Oh my!
Oh, they can't go 24/7. Are you kidding me?
No,
They
but
wouldn't
they
even want
would,
to.
especially at my age. I don't think, especially at my age, I don't think. Yeah, but it was just weird. I just need some love, hun.
I
H-U-N.
just need some love,
Yes,
huh?
it was actually Facebook dating, which I already knew was bottom of the pool because I've been on it before. But hope springs eternal. Why else was I married to somebody for 37 and a half years who was mean? Because hope
And
springs
couldn't find her
eternal.
G spot. So,
Yeah, I needed to cut his nails. I mean, dude, you could always tell what he had been talking about with the guys. They'd been talking about in the locker room.
Does
Yeah.
that big pain thing? Does that stop you from having the sex? Or does it?
Exactly.
Like,
Can I still stick you?
I guess
I
I
would
need to
maybe
know up
try
front.
something else. Yeah, no, it just it's not good. It's looks worse than the bottom of the reflecting pool right now, which looks
Right.
pretty bad.
That's
The
just
picture I saw.
fantastic.
Have you
Huh.
seen that picture?
no.
It's all super uneven and like
Huh.
it's dark in spots, light
Just
blue in
start
spots.
ordering more stuff that has to be delivered by UPS and see what your UPS guy looks like.
Facebook. Yeah. Well.
Instead of Facebook, just buy more stuff that UPS has to deliver because the
Well,
UPS guy might be worth,
one
investigating.
of those people lives over here, next door to
The
me.
UPS guy?
US people.
I.
Of course,
I just.
he's like 50 something, so not really appropriate. I mean,
He's
probably.
the UPS guy. So what?
Oh,
Right.
geez. We haven't we discussed that Julia's not a one night stand kind of person.
Right.
Julie has expectations of
Julie is
relationship.
72. She better start learning how to do a one night stand if you want to have some of these experiences.
No, gross. I have to know somebody before I'm willing to see their germs.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, germs.
Well, make them shower first.
Yeah,
Just,
wrong side.
make
Steph.
them shower
I know.
Put the
first.
Lysol in a spray bottle and spray them.
Hopefully afterward too, but like I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Spray
together afterward.
Speaking of spray bottles, a 2-night stand. Yeah, longevity counts. Yeah.
Right, longevity definitely counts, right?
Yeah.
My.
That was my ex-husband's compliment to me after the divorce, that I was his longest marriage.
Well, okay, well, That's
2 thumbs up
okay.
to that.
Wow.
3 times altogether. Once before me, once after me. Mm.
Oh,
Huh.
I
Interesting.
cleared 3 months of rent they were holding. Why were they
oh,
holding your rent?
wow. That's crazy. Jeez.
Yeah, why were they holding your rent?
Yeah, that's not nice.
No.
It's so weird being the only face on here.
My face is there.
Yeah, we.
Kind
And
of.
mine
It's
is
just not,
well.
it just doesn't move a lot.
Kind of mine is.
Your mouth never moves, Sacred.
Well, it's hot here tonight,
What
so I'm
makes
not
you think
wearing
it
a
moves when
jacket.
when I'm for
I'm,
real?
I'm just wearing pajama pants and I have no shirt on. Like nobody wants to see that, so that's what you get.
Oh,
You
sweetheart.
get my
That's
logo.
You what? My heart.
Listen.
Hang on, I'm having a visual.
What
Hang
I
on,
say.
hang on.
What I say. What I say. Nobody
I want
wants
to
to
know
see
about
that.
her. Oh, face. No, thank you.
Nobody wants to see that.
Oh yeah, somebody wants to see that.
I'm just too delicate for this world. I'm just gonna
Somebody would love to see that,
realize
actually.
I am just too damn delicate for this world.
Too damn delicate.
Yeah.
What's that phrase, boys? Puffing up buttercup?
Right.
Huh? What's the phrase?
Suck it up,
Puffing up
buttercup.
buttercup. Oh,
Oh,
suck it up, buttercup. I almost had it. You can
and
see I
I'm
never
not
used
sure
that
how
one.
you mean that, Sacred, because one never knows with you.
Right. Yeah.
That's very true.
Sacred. Jesus Christ.
What?
You know how sacred can be.
Sacred
Oh,
sauce.
yes.
Sacred saucy.
Do I make you
Huh?
randy, baby?
You know what?
Do
Say
I
that
make
again?
you randy?
Oh, baby, all the time.
It's super weird to come from spending the afternoon with my daughter to
So
enter
this?
this particular rodeo,
Right?
you know?
What is going on right
Yeah. World is on tilt or something. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, that
now?
sucks, Joe. I
Why
mean,
is
if you're
it
paying the rent, how the hell can they do that?
Yeah. Now they cleared the 3 minutes. You can use that. Oh, that's
Oh,
sure.
rent control. Yeah, that
Okay.
sucks.
Ugh.
Under rent control now. Why aren't you there then in Santa Monica? Oh my goodness. But move before you get evicted. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dun dun dun.
And if you
I
have
say get a
pets,
lawyer and fight it,
yeah. So why does he
and
want to
then
evict
make
you?
him
Did you
pay
do
too.
something he doesn't like?
She's got a coveted spot that's on rent control. He can charge probably 2 or 3 times more if he gets her out.
Oh, I see. The place she's in is a coveted.
Yeah, it's
I
rent
get it
control.
Right.
now.
So
Santa Monica. Damn, girl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hell no.
good for you, Joe. Hell no, I won't go.
For
Good
you.
for you.
That's it. That's what I'm
Wouldn't you
talking
have to
about.
have
Make
some
him
actual
spend
reason
money.
to evict you?
That's right, man.
Yeah, that's, I guess, what he's after then. More money. More money.
Yep.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
damn.
Sounds like a lovely guy. Till you were 2. So do you have fond memories of Santa Monica then, Jason?
What was your favorite part of it, Jason?
Yeah.
Right.
How was the beach where you live?
Oh my goodness.
Did you ever drop your passy there?
Right.
Man, when I was doing foster care with babies and stuff, I loved that they had those things that you would like clip it to their clothes and
Oh
clip it to
yeah.
their pacifier, so they couldn't just keep dropping it on the dirty ground.
Right.
That was yeah. So those things were a lifesaver. 10 blocks from the beach. That is nice. So where
That
did
is.
they move after that?
Huh.
I mean, where did you all move after that? I'm sure they took
Right.
you
Yeah.
Where did your family drag you after they took you
There you
away
go.
from the beach?
Away from the beach. I know. JW. Hello.
Hey, JW.
Sorry, I'm the only face here, but welcome.
But she's the cutest one.
Right.
Oh, aren't
So
I
there.
just Miami? Oh, okay,
Nobody
Miami.
wants to see me.
Huh.
Well,
How
Miami
did,
has beaches.
how did Miami compare to Santa Monica, in your opinion, as a 2-year-old? No?
Hmm.
Hmm.
He's thinking
Was
about
one
it.
more humid than the other? It's like a
Oh, I bet
dry.
Miami. I bet Miami was more humid.
Oh, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Quite a bit.
I think so.
Yeah. It was bullshit. Is that what you thought as a 3-year-old? Is that what you thought as a
Shit
3?
from the bud. All righty.
In Venice. Ooh, nice. Oh,
Mosquitoes and
mosquitoes.
shit.
That's what I've always
Yeah.
heard about Florida.
Oh,
Why I'm not all excited about Florida. Did I get hail? I don't know. I was at Edgefield and it rained really hard.
I got hail here early this morning.
It rained really hard on all these people who are beautifully dressed up, like for a wedding or something, I think.
Wedding or prom or something.
All with their there were it was like 2 groups. There was one that was older group and then some younger ones. And then, so lots of bare skin and everything. And then it started pouring on them.
Did you get by with a little help from your friends, Jason? Did you survive with a little help from your friends, Jason? Did you? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get high?
He was listening to the Beatles earlier, so
Oh, wow. Oh, I did hear thunder, but then we just got big, huge drops of rain over at Edgefield, which is where we were. Yes. I love that place. It's so fun. And it's so creepy that it used to be a poorhouse. That's just creepy. And they have pictures down there, and then they have all this cool, painted things on the walls and the doors and everything, and banisters. All the things have cool painting on them.
Oh, Jason, you just gave us Roby. I wonder if Lisa can make a Roby.
Roby?
Roby. Disneyland for drunks.
A Roby, yeah.
Roby? I am the Roby.
Disneyland for drunks. Just
I love Octopus's Garden.
Beer.
Edgefield's Disneyland for drunks. Interesting.
I'd like to be.
Oh, but would that be like a little bee with a robe on it? That'd be cute. Oh, and little legs and we actually went out and sat on the porch with ours because that's fun. I mean, where else can you just wander the grounds of a place drinking?
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. All right.
We had fancy tater tots with some kind of cheesy sauce on it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love fancy tater tots.
Yeah, they were very good. Except for that Corey's a vegetarian, so I had all the porky stuff that was supposed to go on it. For Klimt. Oh, I forget what that means. What is for Klimt?
Teary-eyed and choked up and all giddy and happy and teary all up at the same time.
There's a ballroom. Yeah, Corey and Luna have actually stayed in the hotel there, which is, I guess it's kind of creepy. Hi, Albert. I didn't see you come in there.
Hello, Albert.
Oh, Albert, you snuck in. Look at you. You sneaky thing.
That would be so cool, though. Where's the ballroom? I didn't see that. Huh. In the hotel, and you melted. Oh, but you came back to life like a good little snowman does after they melt, right? Florence,
right.
I don't know if I could have stopped crying. I bet you I probably would have cried the rest of the night.
Huh?
I mean, should I still cry when Dumbo's mom gets locked up? So I mean,
you cry
watching Ringo sing that, maybe I'd have still been crying.
Yeah. I cry over commercials, so whatever.
Oh, I do too. That one where the old guy answers the phone.
I'm
it
delicate.
sounds like way far away. Oh,
Julie would say I'm delicate.
Yes, delicate. Yeah, I don't know why that offended my ex-boyfriend. Lisa will sing and he'd be like, ow. I'm not judging. No, I'm not.
Right?
Okay, was that an emotional hurt, or like if you poked at him, he would go, Anna?
He was just kind of whiny,
Oh,
just kind of whiny.
I mean, over emotional stuff or over physical stuff? I mean, emotional pain or like bumping his knee or,
everything,
Oh, wow, really?
too hard, anything too much. I mean, he was just a very sensitive guy. I mean, he was really. I just happened to get on the wrong word when I said delicate. I should have just said sensitive. Would have been nicer.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so
Yeah, I
cool.
don't know that I would have been nice about
Ah,
that.
that is
Right?
amazing. Oh, that would be so cool.
Mm.
Hmm. And you could actually hear him. That was my problem at the concerts I've been to with like the when I went to the Paul McCartney one in Knoxville, Tennessee, was
Mm.
everybody's so loud. I couldn't hear anything, you know? Yeah.
Wow.
Plus that wire in my ear, it makes everything like static when it's too loud. So the speakers, when they're super loud,
Oh,
I just have to watch people, you know?
Right?
Angry
Neat.
vulgarity. I like that phrase, angry vulgarity. That'd be a good band name.
it
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
Angry
What did you say
vulgarity.
that was
Right.
what did you say that was ballroom bash my ass hop? What the hell? I'm not sure what that means, but
Yeah, no. Okay.
angry vulgarity it is.
There we
Oh,
go.
that's nice. Yeah, smaller venues probably better than the like big old stadium where I saw him. But it's
Yeah,
cool.
I
The
don't like
second
the
city
big
I was there.
stadiums.
Yeah.
They're not as good as the small places.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you have a wire in your ear. It's kind of
Right?
stupid. Stupid to have a wire in your ear, honestly.
Right?
Louis concerts, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I really wanted to do was like plug my ears, you know? And
Mm.
Yeah.
that's no good. The monkeys, I
No.
love the monkeys.
So, who
Oh yeah.
writed it for the prompt?
I did.
I have been out playing and drinking and eating,
Mm-hmm.
and
And what happened Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
I was,
Friday?
I was,
What about those
You
days?
didn't have to wait until today.
yeah, I usually have to. I know. I
Yeah.
was, let's see,
Not to mention it's like the second week for this prompt. But yeah, sure.
I vacuumed once.
And that's okay because yesterday I finished the story for the prompt and realized it was the prompt prior to this.
Oh,
So I
what
had to
was that
start
prompt?
over.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you
well,
not finish that one? That would be cool.
well,
I mean,
you
I
didn't.
did get that one done too, but it was just like, oh my God, that's not even the right prompt. Where the hell have I been?
Davy Jones, Kiss Joe. My God, I loved him so much.
And it was Rose's fault because Rose called me this, well, it wasn't this morning, it was this afternoon,
Yep. See,
and read
see
me
on.
his story. And I realized, oh shit, I wrote to the wrong prompt.
Oh no!
And then I had to go look it up for sure. And then I was like, oh my God. So I spent the whole day writing the prompt for tonight.
I love what
So,
you call doodling.
Did it doodling?
It's like mathematical art. What she does, it's like it's very intricate, very intricate. Yes, he was adorable. Yeah. Who was it?
was
Somebody on here told me that on the High Chaparral, they picked the youngest brother on there to be like Davy Jones. I think that's somebody said that on here. I don't remember who because
Huh.
I don't remember shit.
All right.
Yeah. He was so cute. Yes. I always liked the cute little boys. Now I'm too old for the cute little boys. But
ooh, Laura, you got kissed by Davy Jones? Holy
that's
hell.
amazing. That is amazing. So, who wants to? Oh, yeah. Her drawings are
They're good, aren't they, Laura?
insanely cool. So intricate, you know? Not delicate, but intricate.
Right.
Don't shed any tears here now. She did not use the D word.
Yes, and Chekhov. Yes, that was my favorite. Yeah, on Star Trek. I have a type, or I had a type. Cute little boys. Yeah.
Right.
Chekhov is okay, but Leonard Nimoy was my thing.
Ooh, you like the strong
Spock.
silent type.
Yeah, I love Spock. I was nuts about Spock.
Mm.
Huh. All right.
I
Yeah,
knew I could
strong
make
and
him
silent.
smile and do a few other things.
Huh. Huh.
He was a challenge.
You
Right.
are the horniest 70-year-old I've ever known.
I told you I came out of menopause
Oh,
as a
yeah, you
17-year-old boy. So, you know, I don't know what to say. Oh, wow, Jason, I'd be over there saying hello to him all the time
Right?
Oh,
and crying and telling him if only we had known each other sooner.
yeah. I'm sure he's.
All
Of
right.
course, he was
So
Leonard Nimoy. He's not
You gonna
Scott.
read ropes, or who wants to start?
I don't care. Doesn't matter.
How many you got to read, Robes?
I just got one to read.
What time is it?
Okay.
10?
1, 2, 3.
You guys
Oh,
want to
wait,
hear
I
both
can't
of
see
these
you
or just one
guys.
of these?
That won't work. Hmm? You
You
can
want
read
to hear
however
the?
many you
You guys
have.
want to hear the misprompt or the right prompt?
I want to hear all of the prompts, yeah,
Do you?
so that I stop feeling guilty about not doing it.
Robes, would you
I have a
like to
good
be a
idea
sacred
for it, but I didn't
sandwich?
do it. Maybe
Who did
tomorrow.
what?
I said, would you like to be a sacred sandwich?
Sure. Yeah. We'll do that.
You have that, Joe? That would be awfully
That
annoying.
was too good. I could not pass that up.
Oh, I missed something while I was reading.
Huh?
Oh, I
Oh,
asked
I don't
Robes
know
if
what
he
just
wanted to
happened.
be a sacred sandwich.
Oh,
yes, yeah. It's different than the chicken sandwich.
oh
Yeah.
gosh, the first in a row I read that as I'm dating a chicken sandwich. Funny. It's hard reading things over me, you know. Uh,
In the name
I
of the
probably had just as good of
pixies
luck
and the
with that.
pepperoni
I would
oven.
have just as good of luck with a chicken sandwich.
Okay.
So what's the name of it?
White
Not the
pine.
chicken sandwich, the story.
White pine.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Here comes the bottom layer of bread. I can do this without laughing now. Okay, serious face. The kitchen table doesn't lie. It's a long, heavy plank of white pine my grandfather hauled from the river bend, scarred by the serrated edges of bread knives and stained with the ring marks of coffee mugs from winters hard enough to strip the marrow from a body. Across from me sits Arthur Vance. His hands are like cedar roots, thick and rough, wrapped around a cup of chicory he has no intention of drinking. He watches the steam rise, a gray ghost disappearing into the shadows of my ceiling joists. Between us lies the ledger. It's a leather bound monstrosity, the spine cracked like an old boot, its pages yellowed to the color of a horse's tooth. For 40 years, since the fever took my mother and left me with this house and 30 acres of clay, I've kept the tally here. It isn't about money. Money's just a vapor that passes through the screen door and vanishes out into the orchard. This is about obligations, the quiet debts of a small town where everyone knows which well went dry and which fence line was moved 3 inches to the west under the cover of a November fog. I knew the rhythm of Arthur's truck before it even cleared the culvert at 10 Mile Road. It's a dying machine, a rusted iron beast that spits blue smoke and rattles like a tin can full of nails. He drives it too fast, always too fast, as if he can outrun the debt he owes the ground he stands on. He brought his boy, Leo. The lad is 14, but he has the shoulders of a man who spent his youth lifting hay bales into the high loft. He stands, hovering behind his father like a shadow cast by a dying fire, his eyes fixed on my floorboards, wide and wet. Thomas is still gone then? Arthur says, his voice the sound of stones grinding together in a mill. He refers to my husband, who's been in the churchyard these past 5 winters. Arthur knows this, but pride is a strange crutch. He prefers to pretend he's doing business with a ghost rather than the old woman holding the pen. Thomas has been quiet these 5 years, Arthur, I say. My voice sounds thin to my own ears today, brittle like the ice that forms over the horse trough in October. You're late with the sorting. Tractor through a belt, he says, though we both know the tractor's been dead in the orchard since the first frost. He reaches into the pockets of his canvas coat, a coat that's been patched with fishing line so many times it looks like a shroud. and pulls out a small heavy bundle wrapped in greasy oilcloth. He sets it on the scarred tabletop. It lands with a soft, solid thud. That's the deed to the lower five, Arthur says, his jaw setting into a hard ridge. The five with the old well. We're square through the winter. I look at the bundle. I don't touch it. The oilcloth, the oilcloth is dark, stained with 30 years of grease from his workbench. The lower five is scrub open sand, Arthur, I say softly. Nothing grows there but sumac and bitterness. You know what the agreement was. We talked on it when the snow was still high against my barn. Arthur's face doesn't change. It's a mask carved out of a cedar stump. The sand holds the water. You want the water, Martha. The creek's running low this year. Everyone knows it. If the creek goes dry, your berries turn to raisins before July. He's right, of course. The creek is the artery of this ridge, and it's been shrinking every summer, drawing back into the earth like a worm into the dirt. But there's something else in the room, a tension that vibrates between the four walls like a struck wire. I look past Arthur to the boy. Leo hasn't moved. He's holding a small wooden box under his arm. His fingers dug into the soft pine so hard, his knuckles are the color of peeled onions. He's trembling, not the shaking of a cold child, but the deep, rhythmic shuddering of a dog that hears thunder 10 miles off. What's in the box, Leo? I ask. Arthur moves just an inch, shifting his weight to block my view of the child. The boy brought his own account, the father says. He wanted to make sure his name was clean in the book. Let the boy speak, Arthur, I say. It isn't a request. I've buried my own, and I have no fear left for men who use their sons as shields. Arthur hesitates and then steps aside. Leo comes forward. His boots are too big for him. They belong to an older brother who went north to the foundries in Muskegon and never wrote back. He places the wooden box on the table right next to the greasy oilcloth bundle. With trembling fingers, the boy reaches out and flips the latch. He opens it. Inside, resting on a bed of dried moss, is an iron key. It's massive, 6 inches long, the bow shaped into a crude loop, the bit heavy and square. It's covered in a fine patina of red rust that rubs off on the green moss like dried blood. My breath catches in my throat with a small, whistling hiss. The air in the kitchen suddenly turns thin, carrying this distinct, sharp scent of damp cedar shingles and old tallow candles. The smell of a place that hasn't seen a living breath in 50 years. The church key, I whisper. The old church, Leo says, his voice cracking on the vowels. The one by the swamp. The one they boarded up when the water rose in 72. My granddad kept it. He said, sometimes at night you can hear the bell ringing under the water, even even though they took the bell down before the roots caved. I looked from the key to the oilcloth bundle. A terrible cold realization blooms in my chest like a dark flower. The lower 5 acres didn't just contain scrub oak and an old well. The lower 5 acres contained the high ridge where the first church stood. The church where my own mother was carried out in a pine box during the influenza winter of 1918. Arthur smiles, but it isn't a pleasant thing. It's a baring of yellow teeth, a small, ugly victory in a war that's been going on between our families since the trees were first cleared from the valley. You wanted the land, Martha, Arthur says. You wanted the history. Well, there it is. The dirt and the key to the door that keeps the ghosts inside. I reach out, my hands steady despite the sudden weight in my limbs, and I unwrap the oilcloth bundle. The paper inside is old, the ink faded to the color of dried tobacco leaves. I turn the page over, looking for the notary's seal, looking for the description of the boundary lines. My eyes track down the legal description, the chains, the links, the iron stakes driven into the swamp edge. I stop. The words don't say the lower five. They say the homestead lot. The homestead lot is where Arthur's house stands. It's where his wife died in the front room with the windows open to the lilac bushes. It's where Leo was born on a kitchen table identical to this one. It isn't the barren sand ridge, it's everything they own. I look up at Arthur. His eyes are fixed hard on me, defying me to find fault with the offering. He doesn't know. He hasn't read the papers. He can't read them. He left school before the ink dried on his first primer to follow his father's plow, and pride would never let him admit to the town lawyer or to his own son that the letters on the page looked like nothing more than tangled briars. Arthur, I say, and look for the first time in 10 years, and for the first time in 10 years, I use his name with something resembling pity. Arthur, look at the description. He doesn't move. I know what it says. It's the ridge. No, I say. I fold the paper back into its greasy oilcloth shroud, tucking the edges in neatly, deliberately, before sliding it back across the white pine table. It rests against his calloused thumb. Arthur, wait. That was supposed to be the ridge. The room goes perfectly still. Even the wood stove seems to stop its ticking. Arthur stares down at the bundle. His brow furrows, the skin between his eyes bunching into three deep vertical trenches. The lawyer. He said it was the description from the 68 survey. The 68 survey was before the split, Arthur, I tell him, keeping my voice low so it doesn't shatter the fragile quiet. Take it back to town. Tell him to draw up the sand ridge and only the sand ridge. I don't buy houses out from under children. Arthur doesn't take the bundle. He looks at it as if it's a coiled copperhead. But my eyes are already drawn back to the wooden box. The iron key seems to pull the light out of the room. I reach out and touch the rusted bow. The metal is freezing, a deep, unnatural cold that sinks through my skin and strikes straight to the bone. As my fingers close around it, the window pane behind Arthur rattles, though the wind outside has died. For a fleeting second, the shadow cast by the boy on the wall behind him doesn't look like a boy at all. It looks like a silhouette of a woman, her head bowed, her shoulders draped in a heavy, old-fashioned shawl. My mother's shawl. A soft, rhythmic thudding echoes from somewhere deep beneath the floorboards. It isn't the wood stove, and it isn't the truck engine. It's the slow, deliberate tolling of a heavy bronze bell, muffled by several feet of wet swamp water and 50 years of mud. Leo hears it too. He steps back, his eyes darting to the floor, his face turning the color of skimmed milk. She's been waiting for that door to be unlocked, Martha, Arthur whispers, his pride finally fracturing. His hand shakes as he reaches out and snatches the oilcloth bundle off the table, shoving it deep into his pocket. My granddad said she never left the ridge, said she stayed in the pews when the water came up. I pick up the heavy key. The weight of it settles into my palm like a stone. The ledger has ruled this valley for 100 years, balancing every debt with an equal measure of sorrow. But some debts aren't settled with land. Some are settled with a walk into the swamp under a gray sky. Go home, Arthur, I say, my voice steady now, filled with a strange, quiet certainty. Go fix your papers with the lawyer. Arthur doesn't say another word. He grabs Leo by the jacket, pulls the boy out into the gray morning. The truck door slams, and the old iron beast rattles away down the lane, leaving only the blue smoke behind. I sit alone at the white pine table, the rusted church key resting in my lap. The muffled tolling beneath the floorboards has stopped. replaced by a silence so deep it feels profound. I look at the empty chair across from me, where the steam from the chicory still lingers in the cold air, shaping itself into the faint, unmistakable outline of a woman waiting for her daughter. And that's it.
Hmm.
Nice.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. What was the prompt for that one?
I don't know.
Oh, funny.
The one before this one.
I don't remember what that was, honestly.
I don't
I
either.
don't either.
You missed most of it? Oh, phone calls? Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry, Neuro. Well, you can watch the replay, I think. Yeah, you can watch the
This is
replay.
true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It will
Well,
appear.
phone calls won't screw up the replay. And hi, Laura and the Cobb. Or that could make a story right there. The Cobb.
The cob.
Cobb. That could be. Yeah.
It could be.
I swear, every part of your life that you tell me about Sacred could be a story. It's very, yeah,
Hmm.
definitely our natural storyteller.
Stories are good.
Story good. Yes.
Yeah.
Story's
Yeah.
good.
They are. They are. They are. But yeah, that one was fun to write.
Hmm.
Wow.
There were a lot of old people in my childhood.
Mm,
And on 10 miles, like right at the beginning of the southern start of the ridge that runs through West Michigan.
mm,
And the ridge is prime orchard land. So writing about stuff from the ridge, is fun for me.
mm.
And the
Yeah.
ridge runs pretty much from just outside Grand Rapids, between Grand Rapids and Lake Michigan. It runs all the way up to Muskegon and beyond a little bit. So
You have a connection to that part of, the earth,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
yep.
That's
So
good.
yeah, and I just in the old days, the farmers were so proud, and most of them couldn't read. They
Oh.
had they had started working when they were children
Oh yeah.
Mm,
on the farms with their fathers, out in the hay fields and in the orchards, and so most of them couldn't read or read very little.
Hmm.
The
wow.
women were in school longer because it took less time to do housework and stuff, less labor.
Wow.
Right.
So most of them could read, and they did the paperwork stuff. So
And my son hated just doing the dishes, Yeah. They're
I
so
remember my
smart.
kids saying, "Mom, if you would just get a dishwasher, we would do the dishes all the time."
Right.
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah,
had a dishwasher.
it lasted 4 days. 4 days. They each took 2 days. And then after that, it was like, well, geez, Mom, you got a dishwasher, just load it.
That's funny. Yeah, right?
Oh my God.
Hard.
You don't need us for that.
Right.
Rats.
Typical kids.
Yeah.
I had a
Right.
little paper taped inside the cupboard in the kitchen that had the kids' rotation, for which night they were doing which part of it. And it was so funny because um I had a friend stay and she was like renting a room from us for a while after her divorce. And she saw that and she's like, "Is this for us now?" And I'm like, no, that was for the kids. It's okay.
Adrian.
Adrian.
Oh, Adrian.
She was all worried, No, it's okay. You're not on the rotation. It's fine. It's so funny. Oh, dear.
That is good.
Right.
I should have just said yes. What was I thinking? I do not think quickly enough. Yes, you are persons 1 through 4. That's
Right?
your job.
Right.
Yeah. And it was funny because like I say, I was not a great cook. Nobody died on my watch. That's the best thing I can say.
Right.
And so I
Laura, I like
would
the way
buy
your
at
mind works.
Costco. I'd buy those cans of, they said real chicken on them, right? And my friends She started making something like from scratch with chicken. My son, who was pretty little at the time, he goes, "Aren't you going to use the real chicken?" And he meant the canned stuff. She's like,
That's funny.
this is, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's like my kids apologizing to their friends.
Mm.
So sorry, my mom made biscuits from scratch.
Oh my goodness. I want
Right,
biscuits from
right,
scratch.
right.
Damn it.
That's way
I
better.
made bread from scratch too, and they apologized about that
Oh my
too.
gosh. That's like such a treat.
Right?
Such a treat. Oh my
Well, that's
gosh.
what
Right.
their friends all thought, but my kids were embarrassed by the fact that I'd cooked from scratch. I
Yeah.
didn't open up cans and jars and stuff. Just the old-fashioned way.
You actually know how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Right.
so
Oh my gosh.
embarrassing.
Yeah, I remember early in marriage, we went to visit a friend who had been at our church and she'd moved out into the country. And yeah, me too, Laura.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah.
and she was making a spaghetti and she's like, "Oh, I can give you the recipe." And she writes it all down. I'm like, "Thank you. That's awesome." And there's like 18 ingredients in it. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I will take this
Right.
right home and put it in my recipe." But yeah.
Do that right up. Yep.
Right?
My.
Mm,
Me too, Laura, but around here we just call it bread and biscuits.
bread and biscuits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Biscuit. Biscuits and gravy.
Oh, I love biscuits and
Oh, I
gravy.
love biscuits and gravy.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I
But I
make
didn't
that
love it so
too.
much when my mother-in-law did it because she didn't care if there was gristle.
Right.
We'd be
Oh,
eating along and being like,
Oh, that's yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Yum, 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 yum.
Mm,
oh yeah.
Mm. Oh, my.
There's no gristle in my gravy when it's on the biscuits. I'm just
No
saying.
gristly gravy. I don't make
I do
gristle
not do
gravy.
gristly gravy. I don't like
I do
gristles,
like
so I don't.
gristly
I don't
no
do
gravy.
one should
gristles.
do gristly gravy. No,
No one should do gristly
no,
gravy.
no.
No. There's
It's a
no
real
gristle in my
bummer.
gravy.
It's a bummer.
We
I
actually
don't
could
know.
call gravy sacred sauce because I do make good gravy.
Do you?
Good gravy.
I
Good.
do.
One of the
You
few
eat good
things I
biscuits,
know how to
put it
make.
on.
It's really funny. It's like one of the very few things I know how to make from scratch.
Hey,
All right.
My
Well,
sister
there you
taught me.
go.
yay! Good to your sister. Good sisters.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was funny though because at first she spelled it Gravvy, so then we called it Gravy ever after that.
Gravy.
Oh, yeah,
Gravy.
I have your Gravy recipe. Yeah.
Yeah. That's some good gravy, sis.
All right. Right.
Thanks for teaching me how to make Gravy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
teach
All
me
right.
some gravy.
Gravy's the good stuff.
I know, it's
Right?
so funny. Just those dumb little things that you love about people,
Yep.
Mm,
and then miss.
I know, right?
right.
Yeah.
Shall I read my story?
Yes, please.
Yes. Yes. We're just doing a little build up to you, sweetheart.
I know,
Well, I
right?
thought that was a good segue there.
That
So,
was. That was.
I wrote one of those,
so
a segue. I wrote one of those. It was really fun.
Oh,
this
I'm
was
jealous.
for this week's prompt, which was I can see no good reason to. So I called it I can
No,
see
this
no
one's
good
not
reason
happy.
to forget. All right. The clinic smelled faintly of rain and antiseptic. Not unpleasant, just carefully neutral. The kind of place designed to make sure nothing lingered too strongly in the mind after you left it. The walls were soft gray, the lights warm, but dimmed enough to feel considerate. Somewhere overhead, quiet instrumental music drifted through hidden speakers, like a memory, trying not to disturb anyone. Elias sat alone with a paper cup of untouched tea, cooling slowly between his hands. Across the room, a woman of about his age stared silently out the window while a young man beside her scrolled through old photographs on a tablet, with the exhausted expression of someone sorting through pieces of himself. No one spoke much here. Grief had a way of making strangers feel like accidental witnesses to something private. A soft chime sounded overhead. Elias Ward? He looked up. The technician standing in the doorway offered him a practiced smile, gentle enough to feel human, rehearsed enough to feel expensive. The consultation room was smaller than he expected. Comfortable chair, soft lighting. No sharp edges. Even the machine itself looked less like medical equipment, more like an expensive speaker system someone would keep in a minimalist apartment. The technician folded her hands atop a table. So, she asked carefully, which memories would you like softened? Elias stared at the floor for a moment. My wife, he said quietly. The room settled around the words. He swallowed once. I can see no reason to keep suffering like this. The technician's name was Mara. She spoke softly, the way people do around fractures they cannot see. The procedure works best when emotionally linked memories are reviewed beforehand, she explained, sliding the tablet toward him. Not to relive them unnecessarily, just to help the system identify associative structures. Associative structures. Elias almost laughed at the phrase. As though 32 years of loving someone could be organized into folders neat enough to delete. He took the tablet reluctantly. The screen brightened. Memory thread. Compilation ready. A video loaded first. Not a wedding. Not a hospital room. Not one of the large moments people imagine grief must revolve around. His wife stood in the kitchen, wearing one of his oversized sweaters, holding a wooden spoon like a weapon while laughing at him. You burned the onions again, she said through laughter. I like them smoky, a younger version of himself protested from behind the camera. You like pretending you know how to cook. The video ended. Another surfaced automatically. Her, asleep on the couch, with one sock half off while an old nature documentary played unwatched in the background. Another, arguing over thermostat settings. Another, her reaching absent-mindedly for his hand in a grocery store checkout line, without even looking. Each memory landed softly at first, then deeper. Not sharp enough to wound. Worse than that. Familiar enough to ache. Mara watched him carefully from across the room. Most patients report significant relief afterward, she said gently. Emotional detachment improves quality of life outcomes substantially. Elias nodded faintly, but his attention stayed fixed on the screen. A new clip appeared. His wife standing at the sink humming softly while evening sunlight pooled gold across the kitchen tiles. Nothing important happening. Nothing dramatic. Just her, existing inside an ordinary Tuesday that no longer existed anywhere else except inside him. Would you like a few minutes alone? Mara asked gently. Elias nodded. The door clicked softly shut behind her, leaving him alone with the quiet hum of the machine and the pale glow of the tablet screen resting in his lap. He leaned back slowly, exhausted in the way only memory can exhaust a person. Not physically, structurally. Like grief had been subtly rearranging the weight-bearing walls inside him for years. The tablet chimed once. Additional archive detected. He frowned slightly. I didn't upload anything else, he murmured. Another file appeared behind the others. Untitled. Undated. Curious, he tapped it. The screen flickered. His kitchen again. Evening. Rain against the windows. The camera angle low and crooked as if it had been propped carelessly against the counter. He could hear himself somewhere off-screen swearing softly. Then her laughter. Warm. Immediate. Alive enough to hurt. Oh my God, she laughed. You actually did it again. The camera shifted suddenly as she picked it up. Her face filled the screen for a moment. Smiling. Eyes bright. Hair slightly messy. Completely ordinary. Completely devastating. You know, she said, grinning toward him behind the camera. Most people burn candles for ambience. My husband burns pasta. He heard his own voice mutter something defensive. She laughed harder, then softer. And for a brief moment, she simply looked at him. Not at the camera. At him. You better not become one of those tragic, lonely widowers if I die first someday, she said, teasingly. Promise me. Off screen, he laughed awkwardly. That seems wildly specific. I'm serious, she said, though she was still smiling. Don't turn loving me into a mausoleum, Elias. The room went quiet around him. On screen, she tilted her head slightly. Love is supposed to leave a mark, she said softly. That's how you know it was real. The procedure room was quieter than the consolation room. Silent. Machines breathed softly behind the walls, and somewhere nearby a monitor pulsed with a slow, rhythmic tone meant to soothe people standing on the edge of themselves. Elias sat in a reclining chair, while pale blue prompts drifted across the screen, suspended before him. Emotional attenuation procedure ready. Confirmed memory cluster. Ward. Eleanor. Spousal loss. A small green circle waited patiently beside the word. Consent. Mara adjusted something on the machine beside him. Some patients experience temporary emotional disorientation afterward, she explained gently. But most report relief within the first few weeks. Better sleep, less fixation. Reduced grief-triggering response. Reduced grief-triggering response. The language settled heavily in him now, as though love itself had become a technical malfunction. He stared at the consent prompt. His thumb hovered near the screen. And suddenly, horribly, he understood what frightened him. It was not forgetting her face. The system would preserve factual memory. He would still know who she was. Know her name. Know they had loved each other. But the weight of her, that was what would fade. The quiet gravity her existence still exerted inside him. The ache when hearing a song she loved, the instinct to turn and tell her things, the strange reflex of reaching toward her side of the bed, half awake. Pain was unbearable some days, but it was proof that she had been here, that she had mattered enough to permanently alter the shape of him. Mara's voice came softly beside him. Are you ready, Elias? He looked again at the waiting consent prompt, then slowly lowered his hand. No, he said quietly. His throat tightened. I can see no good reason to forget. The rain had stopped by the time Elias stepped outside. The city moved around him quietly. Headlights gliding across wet streets. Strangers passing beneath umbrellas. Life continuing with its usual indifferent tenderness. He stood there for a moment beneath the clinic awning, breathing in the cool evening air. His phone buzzed softly in his coat pocket. For a brief, impossible second, his heart leapt. Her. It happened sometimes still. That reflex. That reaching. He pulled the phone out slowly. Not her. Just an automated reminder he had forgotten to disable years ago. Tea with Ellie. 7:30 p.m. He stared at the screen a long moment. Then, despite the ache rising warm and familiar in his chest, he smiled softly. Not because it stopped hurting, but because somewhere inside that hurt, she was still alive enough to be missed.
Love is supposed to leave a mark. I love that so
I do
much.
too. I want to reach for my husband's hand or anybody I'm close to, somebody's hand in the grocery store at the checkout lane. I want to do that.
Love that.
My husband would snap backward like I tried to burn him with something and say, "What are you doing?" I want somebody who will take my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh,
I know it's just that those wonderful little familiarities.
yeah.
It's not that great. It was really
I'm sorry,
tender,
Nero.
wasn't it? It's so tender.
Oh my.
Tender and delicious.
Right?
Right? And you all wonder why I dream about this guy.
I don't wonder.
Why?
I
That's
know
why I
you
read
well enough to understand.
Right?
That's why I read it
Hey,
like 2 or
CJ.
3 times before I read it live, because
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask.
it's not easy to read either.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you: is this remembered stuff or wished for stuff?
Uh, no, a lot of it's remembered.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm really jealous.
I know, right?
Yeah. I want
My ex,
someone who loves me like that.
I know.
my ex was really awesome, other than that she couldn't tell the truth.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was like,
well,
I just,
just so you know, I tell the truth
That's
even when you wish I wouldn't.
Hmm.
You know, even when
It's
you want
just
one of those sweet, polite lies, I tell the truth.
Hmm.
when he read this to me earlier, I got thinking about how, like, out of all the bad memories and bad things that happened in my far too long marriage. Hey, Gay Brenson. Um,
Hello.
It's like I wouldn't want too much erased just because I certainly wouldn't want to forget what it was like to fall in love in the first place,
Right.
Right?
That, like, because that is always still under there. I mean, yes, by the end of the marriage, I was scared of the man,
Mm,
but, underneath that, there was always that initial excitement of,
mm,
finding
mhm.
somebody that you think understands you and, yeah, you think
Yeah.
respects you.
Just better to have loved than lost than to have never loved at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
have that app, thrift books.
As
Yeah, I have that too.
painful as it is, I would rather have had that than to never have known it.
Mhm.
Mm,
Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
baby. Oh, baby. Hi. Hey, girl. What am I doing?
yeah, there's just certain moments you really miss at times.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. That's for damn sure.
Mm,
Yeah, I shop there sometimes, Adrian, and
I
they
think
run a
my
lot of
books are both
specials
on
too.
thrift books.
What?
I think my books are both on thrift books.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
It's one of the things that Draft to Digital does. That when it puts them everywhere, it puts them everywhere. So I think they're on.
That's
mm,
very
I think
cool.
I've seen my books on eBay and thrift books. I believe it is.
Oh,
But if you go
wow.
to Books to Read, they're definitely there. You can find them all over the place.
Hmm.
mm.
And I make pennies off them no matter where you buy them from, so it doesn't matter to me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to sell a shitload of books to make any money on it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody actually at writers conferences, they never actually say, "Oh yeah, you should definitely get into it for the money." They do not say that
Mm,
about writing.
No, you get into it for the love of writing, and
Yeah,
sure,
exactly.
you don't get into it
Exactly.
for money.
Exactly.
Sadly, sadly,
That's
sadly.
right. What's on your desk? I missed that, Joe. What's on your desk? Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, cool, Joe.
What's on her desk?
If you private message me your address, I will send you a thing, handwritten thing to put inside your book that it'll just be a peel and stick,
That's cool.
mm.
but it'll be handwritten.
Nice.
I'll dedicate it to you. It's not a
Nice. She
dedication, it's
writes
the other
very
thing.
nice dedications. They're very personal. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, just private message me your address and I will send it to you, sweetie.
cool.
Happy to.
Mhm.
Mm,
That's fun, Sacred. Glad you're doing that.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm not going to do it for everybody, but for the
Right.
people here, for
Yeah.
the people here on Substack and stuff in our group, I'll definitely do it for you guys.
Hmm.
mm.
We are
You
pretty
know,
special.
you are. You guys
We
are
really,
also special.
we really are.
Yes,
Sure.
indeed.
Yeah.
Need more tissue?
Mm,
Mm.
Poor girl.
That's yeah. That was. I mean, I guess that tells you that there was impact in that story.
yeah. Well, I'm glad everyone liked it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Put us all in a state of deep longing.
I
Mm.
don't
And
know
now I'm
about
not the
that.
only one wanting you.
Oh, my.
Well, it
Oh,
makes me
my.
think
Yeah.
about. I mean, one of the things that I had to grieve about my marriage was what I thought it was going to be.
Mm,
Where I thought we would be at this age. Although it turns out he was going to be dead at this age, so that's not helpful. But um,
mm,
it's just you all those things are part of that relationship.
mm.
All the good and the bad and the
Right,
and the stuff that you wanted, the dreams you thought, you know, things you thought you were going to do, the stuff you talked about doing together. All those things, those are all part of it.
right, right.
Yeah. Mm. Grief spot. Neuro. Sorry. You should love us,
Right.
Laura. We are
That's
amazing.
great
Yeah, we
stories.
are. We are amazing.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah. Anyone? Oh, just hits different. Chris Jones. Hello. Yeah. Why do I have trouble scrolling? Probably put it because I put lotion on my hands. We do love you
Right.
There you go.
guys.
Right.
Yeah, we do. I mean, what would we be? Just a few people randomly talking to each other about
Right. Right.
G spots and stories,
Right.
without you guys.
And stories about G spots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, write me one of those, please.
There was something
That's
in his
20
story that
years
he was
ago.
reading there when I thought, ooh, all of a sudden I'm thinking about G spots again.
Oh,
No.
Lordy. Yes, and happy Friday to you, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, same to you.
Absolutely.
You weren't here for the G spot discussion.
No.
You
No.
missed that.
No. Wait, what?
18 months ago.
Yeah, well,
How long did it take from the time you filed, Laura?
right. It's all right. It's possible that we will talk about G spots again.
It's entirely possible. They'll talk about more things that I'll go, oh, well, fuck, I'm never going to experience that before I die. Sir.
Right. It happens.
Poor Julie.
I
That's fine.
know.
We
Right.
have to
It's a
work on getting
tragedy.
you. It is. That's too sad.
It's a tragedy. I mean, one of my daughters bought me a single portion casserole dish. It's just sad,
That
Right.
is sad.
They all just know in San Francisco.
Oh,
Yes.
food.
Lucky you. Definitely.
Yeah. Wow.
What's the workshop about? Kitty, the older Kitty, hasn't had her little surgery yet, so she's feeling she's looking for love too, like the guy on Facebook. Just needs some love, hon. Yeah.
Right.
Digital audio
Looking for
workstation.
love in all the
That's
wrong
cool.
places.
Very cool.
Looking for
Right?
love.
Oh my Lord. Just saying. Yeah, those ones are good. Those are, yeah.
Oh, all right. I gotta check that one out.
Oh dear.
So far, my favorite's the lemon.
Yeah.
The lemon.
The lemon. Whew. That little sucker will curl your freaking toes. I'm
She's
telling
allowed
you.
to be in that chair, Finn. It's okay. Yeah, you can just be with her. Okay. He's fighting over the chair with the cat. You're
All
okay.
right.
It's your time.
Do you want to read your second one?
My actual prompt for today,
Yeah.
the one that I got in on the right date, the right prompt.
Yeah.
Want to refresh us as to what the prompt was? I was going to write that in red so I could find it easy, and I
I see
forgot.
no good reason to.
Yes.
See no
See
good
no
reason
good
to.
reason to.
Okay, this one I called the last reasonable man.
Okay.
He might have looked a little like Rose. The coffee at Delaney's had tasted like motor oil since 1987, and Hank Cassell had been drinking it every morning since 1991. He considered this either loyalty or stubbornness, and most days he couldn't tell the difference. He was on his second cup of coffee when the woman sat down across from him without being invited. She wore a charcoal wool coat, the kind that cost more than 2 weeks of Hank's pension. Dark hair pulled back, eyes the color of a February sky. That specific gray that isn't quite a color at all, but more like the absence of one. She set a manila envelope on the table between them like she was laying down a card she'd been holding all night. Mr. Cassell? I don't do that anymore, he said. You haven't heard what I'm offering. Doesn't matter what you're offering. He wrapped both hands around his mug. Outside, Marquette was doing what it always did in March. pretending spring was possible while quietly hedging its bets with another 2 inches of dirty snow. I retired. She opened the envelope anyway, slid a photograph across the laminate. Hank didn't want to look, but he looked. The man in the photo was maybe 60, silver haired, well dressed, standing outside a building Hank recognized as the Trowbridge Center on Fifth. The center handled estate disputes for half the old money in the Upper Peninsula. The man had the posture of someone accustomed to being photographed, shoulders back, chin tilted just so, even when he didn't know the camera was there. That's my father, the woman said. His name is Edmund Voss. I know who Edmund Voss is. She didn't blink. Then you know what he's capable of. Hank set down his mug. The diner hummed around them. The short order cook's radio playing something countryish. The bell above the door, the particular acoustic warmth of a place that's been absorbing human noise for 40 years. He'd come to rely on that warmth. He'd arranged his life around small, reliable things. What do you want from me? He said. My mother died 8 months ago, left everything to me. Or she thought she did. The will that's now on file at Trowbridge is not the will she wrote. I have the original. Take it to an attorney, he said. I've been to 3 attorneys, she said it the way you state a weather fact. The first referred me to someone else. The second took a retainer and stopped returning calls. The third told me that contesting a Voss estate filing in this county was, she selected the word carefully, inadvisable. Hank looked at the photograph again. Edmund Voss, standing in the thin March light, looking like a man who'd never spent a moment wondering whether he'd be believed. What is it you think I can do that 3 lawyers couldn't? Well, the lawyers were looking for legal remedies, she said. I need someone to find the notary. What notary? The one who witnessed the forged will. She exists. She signed her name. She's a person somewhere in this county who made a decision she may or may not regret. And I need her found before the estate closes in 31 days. Hank rubbed his jaw. He'd stopped shaving with any particular care since Carol left, which was either grief or the same stubbornness as the coffee, and he still hadn't worked out which. What's your name? He said. Laura. Laura Voss. Laura Calloway. I used my mother's name. He turned the photograph face down. Old habit. He'd always thought better without a subject staring up at him. I see no good reason to get involved in a Voss matter. Edmund Voss has a longer memory than the county courthouse and significantly less interest in fairness. Men like that don't lose gracefully, and they don't forget the names of people who made them lose. Laura Calloway didn't flinch. She reached into the envelope again and produced a second photograph, slid it across. Hank's hand went still before he touched it. It was Carol, standing outside what appeared to be a law office. Not in Marquette, somewhere downstate, Detroit maybe. The background too urban for the peninsula. She was talking to a man Hank didn't recognize. The photo had that particular quality of surveillance work, distance, compression, the world reduced to information. She's a paralegal, Laura said quietly, at the firm that represents my father's interests in Wayne County. I imagine she doesn't know the full picture. I imagine she's just doing her job. She paused. I'm not threatening her. I want to be clear about that. I'm telling you what I know because I think you should have all the facts before you decide. Hank sat with that for a moment. Outside, a plow ground past on 5th Street, pushing the dirty snow into new configurations. The bell above the door rang, and someone came in, stamping their boots, feeling cold air. 31 days, he said. 29 now. I came to you 2 days ago, and your neighbor told me you were fishing. Lake Superior's frozen, he said as if explaining to a child. I know. She paused. He said you'd go anyway. Hank looked at the photograph of Carol. It told him nothing except that she existed in the world, which he already knew and had spent 8 months trying to make peace with. It told him she was connected, however thinly, however innocently, to a situation that had already swallowed 3 attorneys whole. He thought about the ice, the particular quality of silence out there, the way the cold erased everything, the coffee, the diner, the accumulated weight of 22 years doing work he'd believed in and then stopped believing in, and then missed so much it become a kind of phantom pain, present exactly where nothing was. I charge 40 an hour, he said, plus expenses. I'll need the original will, the names of the 3 attorneys, and everything you know about your mother's estate filings going back 5 years. Laura Calloway reached into her coat pocket and produced a folded check. She set it on top of Edmund Boss's photograph. Hank didn't look at the amount. He picked up his coffee instead, found it had gone cold, and stood to get a refill he didn't particularly want. You should know, he said, standing at the counter, back to her, that I'm not doing this because I think I can win. Edmund Boss has been winning in this county since before you were born. Then why? She asked. He came back to the table, set down the mug. Because someone found that notary and convinced her to sign something she shouldn't have signed. And that person is still walking around thinking it worked. He sat. I find that irritating. Laura Calloway almost smiled. It was the kind of almost that meant she'd decided not to, which Hank respected more than if she had. 29 days, she said. 29 days, he agreed and picked up the check. And that's it.
Geez, I want to hear more.
Yeah.
I think Hank and Laura will appear again at some point.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought
But
it was
that
odd
seemed
that
like a
Carol showed
good
up.
place to stop.
It was
Hmm.
interesting that Carol appeared in that picture.
Right?
Carol who left him. Yes.
Right? And I did not want to write to this prompt. It did not do a thing for me. And I finally said, all right, let me do this.
Oh,
And look
funny.
what came out. I was so surprised, pleasantly.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
I should ask you what sentence had the prompt in it? Because I just
I
was
don't
kind
know.
of immersed in the story, you know?
I don't know. It was
So
toward the end.
I just usually try to, listen for that, but I didn't. I just got caught
That's,
up.
I get so caught up in them that I usually try to write it in red
Mm,
so that I can find it easily. And I
yeah.
forgot to do that.
Hmm.
I forgot to do that because it came in and it was just like, oh, I got that worked in there so perfectly. Sometimes it's kind of awkward, but this time it just slid right
Apparently it
in.
was perfect because I wasn't noticeable. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't
Yeah.
notice it in robes either, honestly. Interesting.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Oh.
Hmm.
You want a prompt? What do you want us to prompt you to do? Go clean the refrigerator.
Right.
Oh, that's a prompt I need. I need that one.
Me too. That's why I thought of that.
I might need an electric rod to, force me.
Cattle prods?
Yeah, that's it.
Good.
Cattle prod. I might need a cattle prod to get me there.
Mine is a disaster.
Right.
And it was new when I moved in, but that's been almost a year now, so I suppose it's time to clean it.
Oh, I did mine at this before Christmas, but that's been a while ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably due again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
Seems to always need doing.
Oh, somebody was telling me about somebody in this park that will do housework for people, and she did oh, you did about the prompt, not the fridge. Okay. Um,
Okay.
I was gonna say, "Come on over while you still got
Okay.
that rolling, just come over and do
Right?
some." But she said this woman, vacuumed off the counters and vacuumed out the fridge.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um,
So, I
okay.
guess she's got her own style,
I don't
kind of.
usually vacuum out the fridge, but sure.
I know. I mean, I thought,
Yeah,
"Oh, that's actually not a bad idea," but vacuuming off the counters, that's just kinda gross.
it's weird.
Vacuuming out the fridge is gross too if you're inside of it.
Yeah, it's
I
strange.
vacuum my floors for that. Gross.
What
Right.
about it? Well, see, my problem is I have, like, little dried up dead pieces of, like, broccoli and stuff that I don't really wanna
Oh,
touch.
okay.
Well, that's what
All
paper
right.
towel is for.
Yeah, 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 that's what they say.
Right. Right.
Yeah, paper towel so you can grab that up and just throw it straight to the trash without having to feel
Yeah.
anything. That's also why they make rubber gloves, so you don't have to feel any yucky stuff.
Right.
That's true, you could vacuum it before and then yeah, because sanitizing I don't know, I guess that's what I was thinking about counters. It's like you really want your counters to be sanitized,
Yeah.
not
Vacuum
where the f related to the
floor.
floor.
Yeah, it's different. It's weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
gross. Yeah,
Odd.
people vacuum behind their fridges. I've heard that's a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, behinnd it, yes, but not
My
in it.
mother-in-law
Ew.
used to do that on the regular, apparently. Yeah, I know. Most people don't think about vacuuming inside the fridge. I mean, I just thought that was interesting
Huh.
and then
Are
sanitize it. Yes, definitely.
you still here with us, Jason? Because I thought I was thinking when I was reading that Jason would be particularly um able to recognize the stuff in the photo
Yeah, the coils.
with the surveillance
Hmm.
thing with the distance compression, the world reduced to information.
Mm.
I was thinking, or that Jason thought about that,
Mm,
being a photographer, and he's got some like long lenses to get close up at the stuff that's way far.
it's good to
Right.
sanitize them, so
Yeah, I thought, oh,
I did dig up another story though.
Oh, cool. Since I was a total deadbeat.
It's from like one of the I don't know when this prompt was, but uh, I think it was a while back. It's like Julie's prompt, as one does.
oh, there we go.
Love it.
When I was a kid, there was a man on Maple Street who talked to the wind.
Oh, I love
Not
this one.
literally, not in the wild, arm waving sort of way that would make a child run home and whisper about ghosts. No, this was quieter than that. He would sit in the same creaking wooden chair every evening, one boot hooked over the other, a chipped coffee mug resting on the porch railing beside him. Then he would lean back, look out over the yard, and speak softly into the air, like he was continuing a conversation that had been begun long before anyone else arrived. Sometimes he would pause, as if waiting for an answer, and sometimes he would nod. The adults in town never seemed concerned about it. If anything, they treated it like weather, or taxes, or the sound of crickets in July. Just one of those things that happened, whether you understood it or not. That's just Harold, my father once said when I asked about it. He talks to the wind. Harold's porch faced the narrow road that ran through the town like a lazy thought. Not much traffic passed through, just the occasional pickup, a bicycle, or someone walking a dog that stopped to sniff every mailbox along the way. But Harold was always there before sunset. His chair would start slow creaking sometime around the hour when the shadows stretched long across the lawns. The wind would move through the maples and pines that lined the street, carrying with it the smell of grass, lake water, and someone's distant wood stove. That's when the talking would begin. Not speeches, just fragments. A sentence here, a quiet remark there, sometimes a chuckle. Once in a while, he would stop mid-thought and tilt his head slightly, like someone listening to a distant radio station just beginning to come into focus. I never heard the wind answering, of course, but it did seem to linger on that porch a little longer than anywhere else. The adults never commented much. Some folks talked to their dogs, some talked to themselves. Harold talked to the wind. Curiosity is a stubborn thing when you're 10 years old. It sits in your chest like a pebble in your shoe, small but impossible to ignore. I must have watched Harold for months before I finally worked up the nerve to ask him about it. One evening, I wandered over while he was sitting in his usual spot, the porch boards sighing softly under the slow motion of his rocking chair. The wind was moving through the maple leaves overhead, making that dry, whispering sound they get near the end of summer. Harold noticed me standing there before I said a word. "Well," he said, glancing sideways at me with a small smile. "You gonna keep spying on me from the sidewalk, or you plan on saying hello?" I stepped onto the porch, suddenly unsure of myself. "Who are you talking to?" I asked. Harold didn't laugh. He didn't look surprised either. Instead, he leaned forward a little, resting his elbows on his knees, and looked out across the yard as if considering the question very seriously. "The wind," he said simply. I frowned. "But it can't hear you." He nodded once slowly. "Maybe not," he said, "but it carries things." He leaned back in his chair again, the wood creaking softly. "And sometimes," he added, "that's enough." I remember standing there for a moment, trying to decide whether that answer made any sense at all. "The wind carries things?" I asked. Harold nodded again, slow and thoughtful, like a man turning a small stone over in his hand. "Sure does," he said. "Carries seeds from one field to another. Carries the smell of rain before it arrives. Carries the sound of a train 10 miles away if the air's right." He picked up his mug and took a slow sip, then set it back on the railing with the careful patience of someone who had all the time in the world. "Carries words, too," he continued. I looked out across the yard, half expecting to see the wind doing something obvious, like picking up a sentence and flying off with it. "But why talk to it?" I asked. Harold chuckled softly. "Because the wind doesn't interrupt," he said. "Doesn't argue. Doesn't tell you you're wrong. Sometimes a person needs to say things out loud so they don't sit so heavy inside." He looked down at me then, eyes kind but steady. "And sometimes," he said quietly, "the wind carries a little of that weight away." I didn't know if that was true, but I remember thinking it sounded like it might be. I didn't think much about Harold after that. When you're young, wisdom often passes by like a slow truck on the road. You notice it for a moment, then your attention drifts to something louder, faster, more interesting. Life has a way of doing that. A few years later, Harold's porch went quiet. The rocking chair disappeared one spring. Someone new moved into the house not long after. The maple trees were still there, still whispering in the wind, but the conversation had stopped. Or so it seemed. Time did what time always does. School turned into work, small decisions stacked into bigger ones. The road out of town eventually became the road I followed for a long while. Cities are louder than small towns. The wind gets pushed aside by traffic, buildings, and the steady hum of people trying to get somewhere. But every once in a while, usually late at night, I would remember that creaking porch chair and the quiet way Harold leaned back and spoke into the evening air. I would think about what he said. The wind carries things. At the time, I had no idea how true that might be. It was many years later when I finally understood what Harold meant. Life had done what life does to all of us. A few dreams had worked out, a few hadn't. Some people I loved had drifted away, and a few had gone somewhere further than drifting. Eventually, I found myself back in the town for a while. One evening, I was sitting on my own porch, the kind of quiet evening that only seems to exist in small places where the night arrives slowly. The wind was moving through the trees again, just like it used to on Maple Street, carrying the same soft rustle of leaves and distant smells of earth and water. I sat there for a long time without saying much. Then, without really deciding to, I started talking. Not loudly, just a few words at first, then a few more. Thoughts I hadn't said out loud in years found their way into the evening air. Regrets, gratitude, questions that didn't have answers. At some point, I stopped and laughed quietly to myself. Turns out the wind is a pretty patient listener. So I sat there a while and told it everything, as one does.
I love it. That was good. I love that. That was really good.
Thank
That is, it's one of my favorites. I love that. I love
I
that story.
think I missed that when you read it the first time. I must have been sick or
you.
off or
Oh,
something.
you weren't on that week.
Mm.
I do remember that because it was so weird that it was your prompt and you weren't there for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Okay. Did you
And
write for
just,
that prompt? Secret?
huh?
Did you write for that prompt?
I did.
Maybe we should hear
I
that
don't know
too.
where it is. I don't know where it is, but I did write for it.
Do you remember what you named it?
Of course not.
I like that
Right?
whole concept of the wind carries things, you know?
I know, isn't that
Ship.
great?
Yeah.
And by the
Yeah.
way, just for the record,
Mhm.
in my previous story here, he
Yeah.
turned the photograph face down. Old habit. He'd always thought better without a suspect or a subject staring up at him.
Mhm.
The prompt: I see no good reason to get involved in a boss matter.
Aha.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
It was there. I knew it was.
Hey,
Cool.
right.
Yeah. Hmm.
It was there. I did have it.
Mm.
Oh,
That's good. I don't know, it's just
yeah.
I love how you guys' brains work, you know? Because you just think differently than
Right?
either one of you or me or I don't know anybody else too. I guess that's what's cool about the writing is that it
It
comes from
is.
someplace in you that sees life in a certain from a certain perspective. I
Mm,
wouldn't think about, the wind
right.
carries things. I wouldn't think, it's fascinating
Mhm.
to me.
Well, when I hear his, like the wind there, it was like, oh my God. I mean, I've lived that experience,
Mhm.
but I hadn't thought to write it.
Right. Yeah. I
And I
mean,
wouldn't, of course, have written it quite that way, but that was just, it was beautiful and
Mm.
profound and touching and oof.
mhm. Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know.
definitely
It's just what
wasn't
came
too
out.
delicate either. It wasn't too delicate. It was just right.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, where did you get that
Oh,
idea? I mean, how'd that come to you even?
It was kind of actually off of actual dude that, like, lived on the street we lived
So,
on.
that's cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
that dude was my grandpa.
Oh,
Yeah.
He was, like, the friendliest guy in the world, too.
aw, nice.
Always waved to everyone, like, always had a
Oh,
nice thing to say to everyone, like,
my
Aw.
grandpa didn't. My grandpa would growl.
yeah, he was just a really nice guy.
Aw.
My grandpa was too, but he didn't want people to know, I
But
guess.
he definitely talked to the wind. He
Wow.
definitely he
That's
would
cool,
definitely
though.
hold on to conversations when no one was
My
there.
grandpa would my grandpa would sit. They
Oh,
had this
I love
corner
it.
at the back
Right.
behind the house. They had this corner that had like 3 or 4 big old pine trees, but then there were 2 deciduous trees, and I don't know if they were oak or maple or what, but there was a hammock in between them.
Mm.
Mm,
My grandpa would sit in a hard chair, right, kind of in that corner that the pines created, right at the edge of the deciduous trees with the hammock hanging.
Mhm.
mm,
And he would sit there and he'd lean forward with his elbows resting on his knees and he'd smoke his pipe
Uh-huh.
mm,
and he would talk and mumble to nobody. Nobody was there,
Mhm.
mhm.
but he would quietly talk. Just and I asked him one time. I said, "Who are you talking to?" And he said, "Just the wind.
Oh,
Just talking to the
Right?
wind."
wow.
So I was like, "Ooh,
Oh, funny.
Mhm.
Who'd have thought?
yeah,
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a thing.
I
yes."
never known that. I mean,
All
I
right,
looked at things like
everybody, on the count of
spiders.
3, let's all step outside and talk to the wind.
Talk to the wind, see what it has to say.
Yeah.
I
It's a
think
good
it's supposed to
listener.
listen. I don't know if it's supposed to say anything, but maybe we can hear each other.
It carries things. I don't know, that was just an interesting thought because as I'm sitting here looking out the front window at my place and I can see, quite a few of the houses around this little
Mm,
street, and I was just thinking about, like, things being carried through from this yard to, that
yeah.
yard and, like
Mhm.
birds going through, the neighborhood, and it's just yeah. You
Okay,
don't
Nero.
know your
Well,
neighbor
damn.
says, "Oh,
Okay.
no. Oh,
Damn.
no."
Okay.
The carpet shampooer kind of like hanging pictures.
No,
Are
this
you are
guy's
you shampooing carpet, Neuro, that you're not telling us about?
talk to the walls. Oh, yeah. I had a
Right.
Well,
conversation
I've
for
done
like a
some of
week.
that too, Laura.
I
Right,
had a
right, right.
conversation for like a week with a spider because it
Okay.
was always bigger. Yeah, it was a cool spider, and I just kept watching it, and I think it was watching me, and so I would just
Mm,
talk to it and go, "Hey, I'll leave you alone if you leave me alone."
right,
Cool.
right, right.
Cool. And it worked its way, around the house and, it'd be in my bedroom. That was my least favorite place for it to be. Then it'd be in here when I was, working on the
Mm,
computer. And,
okay.
and then finally it ended up at the back door. So I said, "Oh,
Mm,
do you want out?" Okay.
alright. Well,
So I
bye-bye.
got a little piece of paper and I got him on the paper and I took him outside.
Okay. Well,
Hmm.
Yeah, it was interesting because I couldn't get a clear thing from Google Lens. I mean, it named it both maybe a jumping spider or this, I guess,
Oh.
or some kind of facial thing that you should have checked by a dermatologist. So, I mean, it was really all over the
Okay.
place.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very different. So, I don't know, it had these things like this on the front of it. It looked like a lobster,
Oh,
like it had
okay.
lobster claws on the front of it.
That's terrible.
Oh, here we go, as one does. Holy shit. Can you
You
believe
found
I
it?
found it? I
You
found
found
it. Oh
it?
my God.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
That's a weird
You
experience.
guys want me to read it?
I
Sure.
do.
Yeah.
Oh, shredding cucumber.
Okay.
Oh.
I called it the quiet house. Mrs. Calder had lived in the house long enough to know its ordinary sounds. The pipes ticked after a hot shower. The maple branch over the roof dragged across the shingles when the wind turned north. The back step gave a small, hollow thump if someone put their weight on the left edge. A quiet house teaches a person its language, which is why she noticed the apples. She kept a small bowl of them on the counter by the sink. Not because she ate many these days, apples were harder on the teeth than they used to be, but because she liked the look of them just sitting there in the hand carved wooden bowl. Solid things, red and yellow, uncomplicated reminders of her childhood. One morning there were 5 apples. The next morning there were 4. Mrs. Calder stood at the sink with her coffee and studied the bowl for a moment. Then she shrugged. At 78, you learn not to trust your memory with precise inventories of fruit. Still, 2 days later there were only 3. The cupboard doors began after that. They didn't slam or swing the way doors do in dramatic houses. They simply opened sometimes when she was bent over below them, getting something out of a lower cupboard. A few times she'd stood up and collided with her door hard enough to see stars explode on a field of black. Once she tasted blood. After that incident, she made certain to leave them closed, yet then they'd be open another time. Now she'd gotten to the point where she'd stand up slowly, reaching with her hand to make sure there was no door hovering over her head. At first glance, one would think the open cupboard door was an accident, as if someone had taken something small and meant to shut the door again, but lost interest halfway through. Mrs. Calder closed them each time without comment, as one does. She had lived alone for 12 years now. A person in that situation learns to give certain things the benefit of the doubt. The toilet lid came next. One night she woke to the quiet porcelain sound of it settling, not falling or slamming as it would if it fell, settling. The sort of careful sound a person makes when they're trying not to wake someone else. Mrs. Calder lay still for a while, staring at the dim square of the window. She didn't close the toilet lid at night. Arthritis made unnecessary motions a nuisance in the dark. In the early morning, the lid was down. That was an unpleasant surprise in the dark. She made sure to leave it open. The next morning, it was down again. She considered it briefly and then went to make coffee. The chicks arrived 3 days later. That part was technically her fault. She'd ordered bird seed from a catalog, the good kind, the blend with sunflower hearts and cracked corn. The picture on the website was perfectly clear. When the box arrived on the porch, it was stamped with a bright red label that read, Live Animals. Inside the cardboard crate was a warm, shifting cloud of yellow that peeped.
Oh.
24 baby chicks and a small box of bird seed, the good bird seed, pictured in the ad. Mrs. Calder lifted them out one by one, placing them in a shallow box lined with newspaper. One climbed onto her thumb and sat there, eyes bright as dropped seeds, entirely confident in her. I don't even own a chicken coop, she told them. The chicks wandered across the paper, making their soft, motor-like sounds, scratching at imaginary things, totally unconcerned with their future housing needs. By morning, there were 22. Mrs. Calder counted them twice. The box hadn't tipped. The newspaper hadn't shifted. There weren't any feathers on the floor, just 22 instead of 24. She poured coffee and sat at the table. After a few minutes, one of the cupboard doors eased open with a soft wooden sigh. Mrs. Calder watched it without moving. Inside the cupboard sat a small saucer she didn't remember putting there. It held a scattering of sunflower seeds. Something moved faintly behind the wall. It wasn't scratching or chewing the way a mouse would do, just a slow shifting as if something large were settling its weight. Mrs. Calder finished her coffee and closed the cupboard door. By afternoon, there were 21 chicks. This time, the newspaper was folded back slightly along one edge, as if someone had lifted it and then thought better of making a mess. Mrs. Calder smoothed the paper flat again. Well, she said to the kitchen. The cupboard door was already open. That night, she woke to the quiet work of the house. A cupboard easing open, a careful sliding sound along the counter, then the faint shuffle of newspaper. Mrs. Calder lay still beneath the blankets, listening. In the morning, there were 19. She didn't bother counting again after that. By evening, the apple bowl was empty. Mrs. Calder placed a small dish of oatmeal on the counter and turned off the kitchen light before going to bed. Sometime after midnight, she woke again. The cupboard door opened with its patient wooden sigh. Something moved within the walls, slow, deliberate, satisfied. Mrs. Calder listened for a moment. She remembered her husband standing in the basement years ago, shining a flashlight along the deep stone foundation. You don't want to leave food sitting around too long in a house like this, he said. Old places get accustomed to it. Mrs. Calder rolled onto her other side. Well, she murmured into the darkness. In the morning, there were 16 chicks left. Mrs. Calder poured her coffee, scattered a little feed into the box, and sat down at the table. The house was very quiet again, satisfied. She took a slow sip and wrote a small reminder on the back of yesterday's envelope. Order more chicks. That was it.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm. I
Oh,
like it.
Peep, peep. Where's it going?
Right?
I don't know, but between the missing sauerkraut and as one does, that's what happened.
Yeah, and I was thinking about you've had that thing with your toilet seat too, right?
Oh
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
yeah. Stupid toilet seat. Hi, Julie.
So random, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. She's got a interesting situation at her house. Things do disappear or move. It's
Huh.
Yes.
oh,
Oh,
Yes. But after the shower incident, the toilet has not closed on me
that's
since.
good.
So I think
Oh yeah?
whoever was doing that did not like me swearing at them and cussing them out,
Did not like what?
being cussed out.
Oh.
mm,
They're like, okay, fine, damn it.
Yeah, I told them the cupboard doors were fine. Everything else they were doing was fine. They could take what they wanted, but don't ever make me have to shower in the middle of the freaking night ever again. And
Right.
mop the floor
Oh
and
my
wash the
gosh,
toilet.
yeah.
I mean, that was
right.
way too much freaking shit for the middle of the night. So yeah,
Oh, that would be so annoying. Yes, that would be. Oh,
I'm
I hate that.
stubborn, Laura. I'm stubborn. What can I say? I'm
Right.
She
stubborn.
is stubborn.
I do not give up. Look at Robes. Robes can tell you.
Right.
This is
I
true.
don't give up. After 8 months, I'm still pestering him. I have not given up.
Don't tell Laura about the your experiences with your toilet seat.
Uh, well, because of the arthritis, and it takes me a while to get out of bed. By the time I wake up in the middle of the night and I gotta pee, I gotta go yesterday. And I'm slow because everything is stiff and it doesn't want to move. So getting to the toilet and over it before everything releases has been, kind of a tricky thing.
Huh.
Until the lemon. The lemon helped with that. But anyway, I digress.
Okay.
Some exercise was really, really necessary. But anyway, before the exercise program, um, I got in there one night and it was dark and I was still half sleeping and, hiked up my nightie and sat down. And as I'm sitting down, everything releases and the damn toilet seat or the lid is closed. So I pee all over the toilet, myself, the floor, because it, drips off there onto the floor. So it was like, damn it. So here I am, middle of the night. I've got to flip on the light switch. I've got to rip my nightie off. I've got to take a shower. And then I got to clean up all the freaking mess, wash the whole toilet down, mop the damn floor, all of this. And of course, by that time, there's no way in hell I'm going back to sleep because I am royally pissed and
Right.
wide awake. So I said, whatever the hell you are, I don't know what the fuck you are. I don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't know why the fuck you're here. But if you ever shut this toilet seat again in the middle of the fucking night, I will find you and I will make sure to exercise you. I will call in a priest.
Ah,
And it
dear.
has not happened since.
Because she had this ongoing thing, and she's the only one that uses that bathroom. So
Right.
this is
Yeah.
very, very strange, And
I'm the only one who
kept
uses it in the
happening.
middle of the night.
Yeah, kept happening, right? I mean,
Yeah, it did. It kept happening until that, and then because it was, I'd catch the seat being down, I'd flip it up first, and all of this. But then that one time, whew, yep, I didn't look. Trusted the
they
seat to be
moved
up
on.
or the lid to be up.
They're like, fine, if you're not going to be any fun, I'm going.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no, it still opens doors in the kitchen and stuff.
Oh,
Things still come up missing, and then they wind up coming back out later somewhere else.
yes, like her sauerkraut.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Laura. It's not daily, but it's 4 or 5 times a week.
Weird.
It gives me a couple of days off here and there.
Right.
Over
Nice.
somebody else. That's those nights. You'll have to wait a minute, buddy. Almost.
Yeah, like I'll lay down an ink pen. Oh, my Apple Pencil, $100 Apple Pencil.
Oh.
One of those came up missing.
Oh.
Still haven't found that. It's been gone for. Well, the other one that I bought to replace it is almost paid off on payments, 12 payments.
Yeah.
So it was like 10 months ago that Apple Pencil came up missing.
Uh-huh.
And I gave it like a month before I was desperate and had to buy another one because they're $100. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
That's hard to do,
Yeah.
Yep.
That hurt. And I still
Yeah.
haven't found that first one. And then I had 2 jars of sauerkraut come up missing.
Baby.
The first time I figured, well, shit, I must have used it and not paid attention. But when the second one came up missing, I had been paying attention because of the first one.
Right.
And I was going to make kapusta, sweet and sour cabbage. So I had my onions and my kielbasa nicely caramelized. I had my cabbage all shredded and I threw that in the pot. And I went to grab the sauerkraut off the kitchen table where it had been sitting for 3 days waiting for me to make the kapusta. And the sauerkraut's not there.
Mm.
So I said, hey, to my husband, did you put the sauerkraut somewhere? And he said, no, it's sitting on the table. And I said, well, it's not. Did you put it away? He said, no, it's on the table. And he comes out of the kitchen, like a man thing, sorry, robes, and other fellows. Not all men do this. Some men do. Mine does. He comes out there like he's about to mansplain to me, but he walks into the kitchen, looks at me with this look like, Jesus, you're getting fucking blind, you old bat.
Yeah.
Walks past me to the kitchen table and he looks at it. And he just stands there looking at the table. And I said, well,
Right.
I'm not blind. It's not there. And he said, well, but it was just there. And I said, yeah, I know. I've got all the food ready that needs it. So I know it was there.
Right.
So he looks under it, lifts up the tablecloth and looks under the table. And it's not there. And then he goes and looks in the laundry room, which is adjacent, to make sure it's not got stuck on top of the dryer or the shelf in there. No, it's not
Right.
in there. So he goes to the pantry cupboard. It's not in there. And he looks in the fridge and he looks in all the places, and there is no sauerkraut. So we had sauteed cabbage with onions and kielbasa. That was, what we had for dinner, because that's what it was.
Mhm.
It was
Still
really
was
bland
good.
and taste. Well, no, it was kind of bland. It didn't have the same oomph it would have had if it would have had the sauerkraut in it. But it
Right. Right.
filled our bellies, so we were all right.
Yeah.
So then a couple of weeks ago, I kicked something with my bare feet under the table. I'm like, what the hell? And I looked down, and there's my 2 jars of sauerkraut that I had just bought.
Oh, nice. There you go.
And then there's something beside it. So I pulled that bag over and looked, and here's another bag with sauerkraut in it. And I'm like, looked in the first bag again. It's like, okay, 1, 2, 3. I bought 2. Where the hell did the third one come from? Oh, okay. And then I noticed there's something behind that. And I'm like, what in the hell? So I pull that bag out from under the table and under the chair. It's another bag with sauerkraut in it, another jar of sauerkraut. And I'm like, all right, wait a minute.
Right.
I had to double check the
Like
other
the
2 bags.
never-ending
Sure as shit,
sauerkraut.
Oh my
I
gosh.
got 3 freaking those white plastic bags from the grocery store. One bag, the one I just got, had 2 jars of sauerkraut, and the other bags had 1 jar each. And it was the 2 original sauerkrauts we were missing, except the last one had been sitting on the table with no bag. It was just a jar of sauerkraut on the center of the table, on the tablecloth, all
That's
alone.
crazy.
And now it's in a bag. I called my husband and I said, hey, I moved out of the room off to the edge there. I said, hey, can you tell me what's in that bag right there? And he looked at me like I'd gone daft, and he said, well, it's sauerkraut. And I said, well, are you sure? Just check and make sure the sauerkraut's still there, because you know how it disappears around here. And he's like,
Right.
all right. He says, it's the 2 jars of sauerkraut. And I said, oh, you're sure? He said, yeah, I'm sure. I said, well, what's in that bag right beside it there? And he looked at me again like, oh my God, she's such a pain in the ass. He opens the bag and he looks in it, and he looks at me and he looks in it again. He said, what the hell? It's sauerkraut. I said, yeah. I said, oh, hey, I said, over there, I can see another bag in the corner there. I said, what's in there? So he gets it, he looks in it, and he looks at me again. Now his face is looking a little pale and his eyes are a little bigger, and he goes,
More sauerkraut.
it's sauerkraut.
Oh my gosh.
I said, yeah. I said, the
Right.
2 jars we're missing. And he said, well, what the hell? Where'd they come from? I said, I don't know. They were right. I left them right where I found them. I wanted to make sure that I had a witness. You saw them too. He said, they weren't there before. I said, I know,
Mm-hmm. So
but they're
bizarre.
there now.
Right.
Oh my
All right.
goodness.
Well, it is 11:30.
Yes. You don't have an attic, right? Because it's a
I don't have an attic, but I had wondered about the crawl space.
no.
I wondered about the crawl space and got so insistent about it. He actually opened the crawl space and made sure there was nobody living under there,
Oh my gosh.
because I was really freaked out about it, because I mean, where the hell do 2 jars of sauerkraut go?
Bizarre.
Right.
They're not light. They're heavy.
Right.
And who the hell would steal sauerkraut? There was better stuff.
Mm.
I mean, there was shit that was cooked. All they had to do was reheat it. It was already cooked.
Right.
But
All
no,
right,
they took the
everybody.
sauerkraut. All right. Well,
Thanks
we
for
love you
stopping
all.
by, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
If you
yeah,
show
yeah,
up,
yeah.
we'll be there.
All right.
Right?
Good
I will
night.
not.
No, we'll miss you, Robes.
Oh, that's right. You won't be there. That's right. Oh,
No, we're gonna miss him.
All
yeah,
right.
sure.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Good
that's
night.
night all.